Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, today we're doing a side-by-side camera comparison between the LG V10 and the Galaxy Note 5. So when it comes to camera quality, the first thing we always take a look at is low light. And we're going to go by each category and see which one did better. So with this picture, I definitely think it's usually what happens when a Samsung goes against an iPhone, for instance. Whereas the Note 5, I feel, has the better overall landscape shot. However, the V10 has the better shot, especially in terms of detail and just picking up better color. Now, again, I think the Note 5 looks more of a good for like landscape if you're trying to get more of a aesthetically pleasing style. But really, when it comes to detail and just being able to brighten up the photo, the V10 did a better job overall when it comes to this photo. Now, it does overexpose the light a bit more to get that brighter light, but that depends on which way you like to take photos. As we zoom in though, we can see the 28 here. Even though it's kind of covered up by the bush on these photos, it's just a bit more clear on the V10 than it is on the Note 5. Overall, again, clarity is pretty decent on both, but I just have to give it to the V10 for just having the better overall, brighter shot. And to me, that's what I like more. I know some people like more of a just better looking landscape photo, but I rather have the better overall photo, which in this case for me is the LG V10. Now, in this photo, color's off on both, but this is the detail photo. So that's what we're going to focus on here is just the detail and see which one has better detail overall. If you're wondering what the color issue is, for some reason it's had a kind of a ghosting effect. I don't know why. And this one had an underexposure effect. So both are not good on color. But when we go to detail, we look at a few things. So when we go to the 4TB, both are very sharp and very clear. Neither really have grainness when it comes to that. And then on certain parts, each one does a little bit better. I think the 3-year looks a little bit better in here than it does on here. But then I feel like the B on the BB8 looks a bit better on here than it does on here. So kind of overall a mixture really. When it comes to the clarity on the PS4 and PS3 logos though, we see a really great clarity on both of them. So really good detail overall for both of these two. So actually when it comes to detail, I would give it a tie. Despite any megapixels, really, overall, I think it's an overall tie when it comes to both of these will give you really good detail for the camera quality. Now, the next thing is color reproduction. So we got a much better color reproduction representation on here. First thing, overall in this photo, the light indoors seems to usually be captured better by the Note 5. We did a couple different shots, indoors versus outdoors, and indoors it usually seems to do better with the Note 5. And the V10 sometimes does better outdoors, but sometimes they're about the same, and sometimes they mix. But overall, consistently, we saw better indoor shots with the Note 5, just grabbing more light, and you can see that in this shot. Just the shadow is immediately what stands out. Now, in terms of color reproduction, we have a couple different boxes here to go through colors. And in the first box, you can definitely see the purple highlighted better on the Note 5 than on the V10. And also just in the King of Tokyo and the purple background, just more depth on here than it is on the V10. In Shadow Hunter, the white one, which is always right here, and then right here, I would give a slight edge to the Note 5, but this is a lot closer, and the V10 does a much better job than any iPhone or other phone we've seen go up against the Note series. Overall, in the last one, you just really will notice the black more compared to the Sheriff one here. The black is more prevalent on here, and it's actually a darker tone in black. And you can really see when side by side that you just get a gray more compared to a black as I let those just sit there. So yeah, overall in terms of color reproduction, I would definitely give it to the Note 5. Just has that more vibrant color, but also most of the time it just gives a better depth overall to color reproduction. So yeah, I would give it to the Note 5 for better overall color. And then finally we go to selfies. Now for selfies, we broke it down into two sections, so we will go over both of them. So this is just for a regular selfie. So this is not using the V10's two cameras, it's just using one, and this is just using the Note 5's regular selfie shot. So we took them both, and if you've ever seen the camera comparison, this is the under overexposure test. So what I mean by that is on this side we see if it's underexposed and you get a lot of fuzziness, and on the top is it overexposed and you can't really see the bars for the stairwell, while obviously getting the subject in a good light. In these two, we did see that the Note 5 picked an overall better shot, just getting definitely more detail, but also you will notice it is still, of course, a wider angle. So you get a much wider shot in here, and you can see, whereas this only got the top of my jersey, this got the beginning of the number 7 as well. So you can definitely just see more detail, not only in just because it gets more in the shot, but overall it's going to be better at the under overexposure. So this is flat, it's not as fuzzy and grainy as the V10 is over here, and the rails are more prevalent here than they are here where it's kind of faded off, and it's kind of yellowish for some reason on that one. So yeah, a better overall selfies will go to the Note 5. But what about the wide angle selfie? Well, I found a very interesting thing with this. LG said that they put two cameras in here to not have a bubble effect like you do when you do the wide selfie on an S6 and up. So on the S6 Edge, they both have what's called a wide selfie, where you in a sense do a reverse panorama shot with a front camera, and you get a wider selfie. But when we did that, this is what we got. So I found this really interesting because LG made such a big deal, like, oh, well, we have two cameras, so what we can actually do is get a much wider shot without having a fish effect. But that's exactly what it did. As you can see, my walls are completely bent by this fish effect by using both cameras. Now, the benefit of the V10, I would actually say more so, is the height. You get a huge height increase compared to Samsung solution, which, as you can see, is a lot less height. It really is just a wide selfie shot. It's more of a panorama. LG, you get a lot more height for your shot, but that bubble effect really is bad and prevalent in this shot. And I think the overall quality of the photo just suffers for that. It just looks weird, and it's not really a shot that you would love to share for a wide selfie. If you did have a bunch of people in the shot, I think, if they get distorted, it obviously won't look good. With the Note 5, though, it does do the wide angle selfie very well, I would say. Again, it's not as good as a regular selfie. That's why it is a lot more grainy in the background over here compared to its previous selfie. But you get a lot more in the shot, and you even get wider of a shot compared to the V10. So as we can see here, although this area starts at the same spot, whereas here I can get the entire door and more, and here I only get about halfway through the door. So on the Note 5's version of a wide angle selfie, you get more in the shot. For the V10's version, you get more height, but it does get distorted on the side, so it's important to note for that purpose. So yes, overall, in terms of low light, I would actually give it to the V10 overall, at least for this shot. Both are great low light cameras, but overall, yes, I would give it to the Note 5. In details, they're pretty much dead on the same. Overall, giving great detail no matter what for most of their shots. Color reproduction does go to the Note 5, just overall better color, especially when it comes to indoor. The color and lighting tends to do better. And in terms of selfies, it's definitely going to go to the Note 5, just better overall for a regular selfie and clearly better for a wide selfie. Alright guys, hopefully you liked this video. If you did, please give it a like, thumbs up down below. It's been RICKY, the Android Guy.